Hey everyone, Austin here with Training Tall, and yeah, sure, I might be 6'8", but Training Tall is all about giving you the tips and strategies to help you take your fitness and health above the average, no matter how tall you are. And in today's video, we're gonna be talking about the top 3 mistakes that are made in the group exercise setting. 3 mistakes that are truly holding you back from realizing your true potential. You might do 1, 2, or all 3 of these things, but just being aware of these mistakes can help you make the changes that you need to make to help you get the most out of every exercise class, every workout session that you do. Now, I'm sitting in an Orange Theory fitness studio. After all, I am an Orange Theory fitness coach, but the 3 mistakes that I'm going to talk about can be applied to pretty much any group exercise setting. Because the 3 biggest mistakes that happen in group exercise don't happen on treadmills, don't happen on rowers or bikes or anything like that. They happen on floor exercises. And so getting right into the big mistakes, the first big mistake is rushing the exercises, rushing the movements that are part of whatever block or circuit that you're doing. When you're prescribed a list of exercises to do, you're in an exercise setting, you're ready to work, you're ready to get it done. It's just human nature to try to bust out and work through those movements as quickly as possible. Now, of course, this is all very situational, but for the most part, it's important to keep in mind that resistance training focused exercises should not be rushed through. And I'm not talking about just exercises that you do with dumbbells. We're talking about exercises that you do with TRX or even bodyweight exercises like push-ups. The real benefits of resistance training, the increase in lean muscle mass in our body, we get that from spending time working our muscles with time under tension and appropriate tension as well. When we see the list of exercises to do, when we're trying to work through as fast as we can, we very often choose resistances, for instance, like dumbbells. On a simple exercise, like let's say a bicep curl, we end up choosing weights that are way too light and are not giving us the correct stimulus, the correct challenge that we should be getting with these types of exercises. If you really want to make progress, get the gains, and see results, which is why you're exercising in the first place, right? We have to stop rushing these exercises and take time to focus on time under tension, choosing appropriate weights, appropriate resistances that really challenge you to the point where you get to the last couple repetitions of whatever set you're doing, and it's like, whoa, this is freaking tough. We want to seek for that struggle within the set of the exercise. And if you're not finding that struggle because you're too concerned with seeing how fast you can do everything, you're not going to see the results that you're looking for. Now, of course, this is all situational. There might be times where there's challenges where you are supposed to, work through a certain amount of exercises as quickly as you can. And when you're focused more on plyometric style exercises or explosive athletic movements, then speed is actually an important component of those exercises. But the most important thing to keep in mind is with a majority of exercises that are resistance-based exercises, you want to take your time, be in the moment with the set, with the exercise, and make those last couple reps tough. So slow your brain down. There's no rush. Take your time and bring the quality rather than the quantity. And that leads into the second big mistake, which is caring too much about keeping your heart rate elevated and burning a bunch of calories. When doing resistance type exercises, again, not just stuff with dumbbells, but dumbbells included, TRX, bodyweight exercises, core exercises, the goal is not to keep your heart rate elevated. It's not to keep you burning calories. It's to focus on working the muscles. And doing weight training and resistance type exercises is just a total mental switch away from cardio. When you're on the treadmill, or you're rowing, or you're doing bodyweight based cardio exercises, yeah, the goal is to keep your heart rates elevated, to get you huffy, puffy breathing. But when it comes to building strength, the goal is again to focus on making the muscles work, not making your heart and lungs work. Now, when you're doing an exercise like a heavy squat or a heavy deadlift, you finish that set, yeah, your heart rate's gonna be elevated because you just worked a lot of muscle groups all at once with these big compound movements. But the moral of the story is to not be focused on keeping your heart rate elevated. So instead of keeping your heart rate up during the exercise that you're doing, my challenge to you is to see how muscularly tough and difficult you can make the exercise. When you focus on that instead, you're going to see a whole heck of a lot more results. Because we have to keep in mind too that with resistance training, when we add lean muscle mass or lean body mass to our bodies, in the moment calorie burn might not necessarily be that high. Again, because we're not focusing on keeping the heart rates high. You'll finish your workout and be like, oh, I could have burned 20 more calories or 50 more calories. Who cares? You gave your body the stimulus to improve your body composition by adding lean body mass to your body. So think of your weight training, your resistance exercises, your floor work as an investment in future calorie burn, because as you add lean body mass to your body, as you add muscle, guess what? Your metabolism increases as that happens. So the resistance training is an investment compared to the in-the-moment calorie burn. So just get the in-the-moment calorie burn idea out of your head. It's not something to focus on. So don't worry about keeping your heart rate up. Don't worry about burning a bunch of calories when you're doing floor exercises. And the third biggest mistake that is made in group exercise, group fitness, and the most important mistake that needs to be fixed is we have to stop comparing ourselves to others. You have to keep in mind that when you're in a group exercise setting, this is a collection of individuals, everyone with their own backstory, and everyone at a different point in their fitness journey. If you're constantly comparing yourself to someone else, and this is especially for those that are just getting into exercise, you can't get into the mindset that you're for some reason lesser than someone just because you can't use as much weight as they might be using, or you're not as athletic as someone else is. The key idea is to, it's gonna sound frank, but mind your own business. Work through things at your own pace, because we have to keep in mind, again, the spectrum of the fitness journey, which I guess technically never ends, but that we're all at a different point. And sure, those around you could be used as motivation or maybe a little inspiration to make an exercise more challenging or encourage you to try a heavier set of dumbbells for an exercise, but there should be no comparing yourself to someone else. Because just because someone can maybe lift a little more weight than you or is more athletic than you does not make you any less of a person. You have to remember that you are good enough, and everyone has been at that starting point or that point where they didn't necessarily feel comfortable in a group exercise environment or felt that they weren't good enough. It's something that we all kind of experience, but it's more of a mental thing that we just got to get out of our heads, because everyone's there to work on themselves, to better themselves, and that is a communal effort together, which should inspire and hopefully pump up everyone to just do their best. But don't spend too much time comparing yourself to others, because you are awesome the way that you are, and the key to success is to keep showing up and to keep trying. Mind your business, do your work, don't rush through the exercises, and don't be concerned about keeping your heart rate high and constantly burning a bunch of calories. Take your time with resistance exercises. Work through the movements at your pace. Stay in your lane. Show up consistently, and you will find success. So there you have it, the 3 biggest mistakes that are being made in the group exercise setting. Do you do any of these 3 things? Do you have a hard time slowing yourself down or being too concerned with your heart rate? Or do you find yourself comparing yourself to others often? These things are struggles that many of us go through, and there's nothing to be ashamed of with that. Now that we're aware of these things, we can take the steps necessary to help us get out of these bad habits and continue to work towards bettering ourselves. I would love to know your thoughts on the video, as well as any suggestions you have for future videos. Please let me know down in the comments, and leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and be sure to subscribe if you're interested in more fitness-based content from me. And you can also check out my website for private rowing instruction, my ebooks as well, and just more from me in general. So thanks so much for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.